Hello, hello, beautiful people. This is Coach Lucretia Hayes Reno having a candid moment with you guys today. We're going to be discussing a nice topic. We're actually going to be discussing joy and happiness and what feels good, okay? There are too many people out there in the world, and I'm just hopping right into this because I really am trying to teach myself how to stick to 15 minutes or less, and I never hardly make it. So, anyway, there are a lot of people out there in the world who have been programmed for misery. It wasn't that they decided that, hey, I think I just want to be miserable, and they just built their life around it. They have been brainwashed into believing that there is nothing else for them. Okay, and here is the thing, because that all by itself is like, okay, to bring about depression and this and this and this. People who are unhappy don't perform well in life or in love, and yada, 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 because your state of mind and heart affects every aspect of your life, right? Right. Okay. So when you believe the lie that you are going to be miserable and you have to be miserable and life is just hard and life is just unfair, then you put yourself in a position to where you are giving away your power. You are being robbed of your power. Okay? Now, let me backtrack a little bit. Earlier, I made the statement that they have been programmed and brainwashed to believe this. By whom? The television, the music, sometimes their parents, sometimes the next door neighbors in every other house all the way around them. Um, it's funny because I grew up with parents that were abused. And so I didn't want to be abused, of course, but it didn't feel unnatural to me for a man to raise his hand and hit me. It felt like there's just some things that happen because all my friends done been beat and people I don't even like done been beat. And I've seen couples fighting all up and down the street because, where I grew up, that was a common thing. Men thought they had the right to discipline their women just like they discipline their kids, and they would hit them in the face with their fists and shoot them and cut them and, you know. So all of that madness was going on, not just in my family and almost everybody's family, not everybody's, but almost, that I knew. So with that being said, if you grow up in that kind of chaos, then before you know it, you become something like a magnet for chaos. And some of us are chaotic vibrators. We vibrate chaotically. Have magnetized ourselves to chaos. We cannot turn away from it. It's almost as if we're addicted to it. I mean, some of us are more addicted to chaos than the average person who smokes crack is addicted to crack or meth or whatever their drug of choice may be. Okay, that means the chaos of our life. When our life does not have chaos, we're not happy, and you will find those kind of people absolutely depressed after they just got a raise at their job, and or if they just bought a new car and things are going great, they're walking around looking like and just miserable because they feel like, oh, this is not gonna last. It's something got to be happening. Something is gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. I'm gonna lose my job, and they begin to look for the chaos. They look for it so hard that they begin to create it because they're seeing it. They're afraid of it. Their feeling is there. And so because that is how the law of attraction works, that is universal laws in place, several of them all at one time. You're thinking and actually have your mind set to this chaotic outcome in whatever thing you got going on. Well, she too good to be true. He too good to be true. I hate when people say that. What is too good to be true? That person is there. It's good. Let's go with it. Now, for those of you who have seen some of my relationship coaching, of course, I've talked about the importance of prudence and wisdom and yada yada, and that's still very important. However, I think that there is a difference between prudence and fear. There's a difference between operating in wisdom and fear. It's wisdom to actually research the company that you're talking about investing in, buying their stocks. That's wisdom. It is fear to say, I'm not investing in anything because anybody's stock could fail. Sure, anybody's stock could fail. But how much money I did not make in my life? I would be a multimillionaire right now because I had just gotten my very first income tax check. And the buy-in to Home Depot at that time was $500, and a guy offered me the opportunity, and I turned it down because I was like, it's probably a scam or something. I ain't gonna just give him my $500. Do you know I can't tell you what I did with that income tax check, right? I don't even remember, and it has nothing to do with time. It was just the fact that it wasn't anything important. It wasn't anything necessary. It wasn't anything lasting, like if I had bought Home Depot stock, okay? So anyway, I say all that to say this. Don't hide your fear behind the guise of wisdom or behind the guise of caution or due diligence, because they're not the same thing and they don't operate the same. Now, I said all this to get into the meat of it. The meat of it is this, guys. Joy is the power of manifestation. For some of you, you have been trying to manifest forever and ever and a day. You're like, I can't even manifest the extra $10 that I don't know where it's coming from. Like if I try to manifest $10 extra in my paycheck, it won't happen. And you can't understand why, but it's really because secretly your paradigm is to believe that nothing good is going to happen to you. Your paradigm may be to believe you have to work for every dime that you get. Whatever it is that's going on the inside of you, that is in there. You can't fake yourself out. You have to actually take time and change what's going on inside of you, what your BS is, your belief system is. You have to shift your whole paradigm, okay? Now, joy is a heart condition, right? The heart is more magnetic than the brain. So having the thought is good, and that's great, and that's powerful. You have created something to go for. So you got this whole thought going on. When you add to it your heart, a joyful heart, then you actually increase the likelihood of manifesting, and the speed, the longer you have that joy in your heart and that thought in your head, the speed of the manifestation. You can control that. Okay. Now, the thing is, if you believe that everything has to be difficult for you, beloved, then everything will be difficult for you. And it's hard to be joyful when you feel like life is unfair to you. But if you do not find what makes you happy, if you do not find what makes you happy, then you will not be able to walk in power or authority or dominion. Let me say that in a different way one more time, because this is important. Your power is locked up in your joy, in your happiness, in your pleasure, okay? It's hard to tap into the power of your power to create the life that you want to have or live. It's hard to tap into that in a state of depression or despair or despondency, okay? It's hard to tap into anything that's good when the condition of your inner state, your inner man, your heart is diseased or polluted with false beliefs. Your beliefs will lie to you. Your beliefs will deceive you. You know, I didn't ever think I would ever try network marketing. The closest I ever wanted to get was Avon, because I liked the product. So I would sell it every so many years because I needed to be able to get my products for like 50% off. So I would sell it. I do well every time, but I didn't like sales. I never have liked sales. And so I just didn't, stay with it consistently. It's a thing for a time. That was that kind of thing. When I got into my econ, I had no idea I would be able to succeed at that business so quickly. So quickly, it was like boom, 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 boom. People was coming to me like, what was that thing you just posted about? What was that? But see, I had spent all this time as a coach and as a preacher and as a friend to so many people, building up the rapport with these people so that they trusted me. But because of that, it just was boom, 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 $1,000 bonus, $1,000 bonus, $1,000 bonus. It was really, really nice. And so it made me happy. And as I got happy by experiencing this new success in my life, I started experiencing other success in my life in other areas. It wasn't just financial. It was like as my joy increased, then I also noticed that the results that I was getting with the things that I was doing was speeding up. It was getting better and better. I was clearer in the mind, and I was able to conceive new ideas and new ideas and new ideas to the degree to where I was able to actually recreate my business while I was doing this network marketing. I was able to put some different things in place that had been blocked off before, because misery is a blinder. Joy will free your mind and clear it so that you can receive those great ideas. The Bible says He gives us witty inventions. He gives us witty inventions. He gives us the power to get wealth. So God has every intention on you being wealthy and prospered. You know, it is his delight, his pleasure, his desire. It makes him happy to make you happy. Okay, so now with all of this joy and happiness, because listen at this. Though the Bible talks about suffering, because there is a degree of suffering, even when you're not personally, physically suffering, there's suffering in just knowing that your brother or your sister, whether it be across the street or across the country, across the world, is suffering. So there's suffering in just knowing other people's suffering, okay? But the Bible says that the kingdom of heaven is joy, peace, and love, okay? Joy, peace, and love, not misery, depression, and struggling, not striving, arguing, and being in chaos. It didn't say any of that. Not hating and manipulating and never having. It never said that. You are an heir to the kingdom of God, heir to what? Everything, okay? But specifically, joy, peace, and love, okay? Specifically, you are an heir to the light. Okay, there's no light in depression. There's no light in despair. There's no light in guilt, ongoing guilt. The whole purpose of any kind of guilt emotion is to just testify to who you truly are. So if I do certain things to you and I get a feeling of guilt, that lets me know that I did to you did not honor me either. And so that is something that I should avoid from now on. And I release that guilt because I got that lesson and I moved past it. We have been taught to beat ourselves up for the majority of our lives, to never have a happy moment. And if there is some happiness, I mean, you ain't realizing that some problem that you got, you've forgotten about, and it's going to come slapping you upside the head. We're always waiting on another shoe to fall. I mean, it's just, we have to release that programming. Now, how do you do that? Because, you know, it's easy to sit here and try to preach somebody into a coma, right, about what they need to do. But I also believe that it's about what we actually do. The first step to being happy is being truthful, having personal integrity, which means that I have the courage to admit who I really am inside. Okay, so some of you right now, you may have went to school 5, 6, 7, 8 years for whatever career you have right now, but you're not happy. It just pays good money, and in your mind, you can't imagine earning more money than this doing anything else, especially that you love. Because you might say, well, I mean, for me, I just love yoga. What I'm gonna do? I can't make no money doing yoga. There are millionaires whose whole business is yoga. You might say, well, I just like painting rocks. I can't do no painting rocks. Do you know how much money some people make selling their artistic creations? You know, well, I was thinking about writing a book, but there's so many of them written, I can't sell any. Not with that attitude, you can. You know, so we have to get rid of all of this stuff that tells us that whatever that is over there, it's just like a pipe dream. It's a false hope. You know, you don't want to go out there, and that depresses us further, you know. So first thing we have to do is be real. And we have to be honest. And it's good to get a journal so that you can write this thing out, and then you'll be able to go back and track your progress, right? So once you're honest with yourself and you say, okay, I'm not living the life that I want to live. I never really want to be a doctor. I actually want to be a lawyer. I like the law, you know. I'm not saying that you actually should go back to school after you've been to school a million years to become a doctor to turn into an attorney, but I'm not saying you shouldn't. And I'm not saying that you can't, because you can. You have to do what honors you, and it has to begin with those hard decisions. There is almost always a sacrifice to be made, but there has never been a time that I've talked to anybody, or especially specifically for my own life, that I've regretted the sacrifices that I've made. What feels good to you is not your enemy. And I'm not talking sordid stuff, guys, so don't, okay? But if it feels good to your soul, do that. Do more of it. Do as much of it as you can. If it honors you, if it fills you with this joy, then you do that. And when you're joyful, take a moment to be grateful. And then while you're being grateful, take a moment to visualize what you want next. And so, not just for you, but for whomever. You know, Joy is powerful, and it has the ability to be transmitted between different people, just like depression and bad spirits can. But good spirits, high vibrations, are more powerful than low vibrations. They last longer. You can change a person's life with a smile, and they might not remember you even if you cussed them out and punched them in the eye 10 years from now. That's what I mean by that. So your good vibrations are powerful. You got to do way more of what makes you wake up smiling. Find out what makes you excited. Find out what gets you just ready. What makes you feel pumped up? What do you want to do? Do you want to talk? Do you want to sing? Do you want to preach? What do you want to do? Do you want to just be? Do you like being outside? Do you like being indoors? Do you like animals? Do you like plants? What do you like? Do you know what you like anymore? Do you like puzzles? I love puzzles. I'm a puzzle queen. I love puzzles, and I have to literally delete some game or another out my phone every few days, because if I don't, I won't get anything done. Now, that's honestly the truth. But it makes me happy to do puzzles. I love Sudoku. I love crosswords, that kind of thing. That makes me excited. So I do more of it. And you know what? When I do more, what makes me excited, it gives me a whole lot more energy to do the things that I might not be very excited to do, like wash a dish, or clean an oven or something like that. So I hope you guys did get something out of this. It's time for us to vibrate higher. We first have to own who we really are, and we have to start making decisions in alignment with who we really are. And then we have to share that joy with other people, because one thing about it, you don't want to be the only person at the top. I hate when people say, well, it's lonely at the top. If it's lonely at the top for you, that's because you went up the wrong way. You were probably stepping on people instead of pulling people up with you and bringing in people with whatever you were learning. See, I don't know it all, but as I learn and as I experience, I share, because I want you guys to get all of this goodness, all of this. I want your life to be as beautiful as I want my own life to be, so we can have something to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We sitting up here on the top of this mountain, and we need to have something to talk about. Like, girl, how you get up here, child? I'm tell you about my story, and we can share these experiences. That is what life is about. We have been fooled into thinking it's about cars and clothes and houses and bags and wigs and weaves and makeup and babies. And, well, babies are pretty cool. But, we've been deceived into thinking it's about all these different things. It's about sharing love, joy, and peace with one another. So, anywho, I'm going to let that be all I say about that. Be sure to check out my website, LaCretiaHayes.com. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions or concerns, anything you want to hear me talk about, be sure to comment below, or you can email me at lacretia.hayes@gmail.com. And you definitely want to check out my blog, girl, guy. It is awakeningvibes.blogspot.com. All right, guys, go and have a fantastic rest of the day, evening, or night.